And we are live. Welcome for this weekly live stream on the latest and greatest news in Ethereum and DeFi. Today we are going to cover PayPal, who finally enters crypto. This is super big news, and I will explain exactly what are the consequences for crypto prices and for the blockchain industry. This is really massive. Also, big news from Ethereum 2.0 and many other stuff that you have to know. For those who don't know me, I am Julian, your host, and on my channel, Eat the Blocks, I teach blockchain development, DeFi, and how to find your first blockchain job. And this week, I'm traveling, so that's why you don't see the usual background with my blue ghost, but next week, everything will be back to normal. So before we continue, quick shout out to my two courses if you want to become a blockchain developer and make $100,000 per year like I used to make. Register for my course, 6-figure blockchain developer. And if you want to learn how to do flash loan arbitrage, check out my other course on flash loan. Hi to everybody in the chat. Hi Franklin, Fadel, hi Edgar. Hey guys, what's up? How you doing today? So, as usual, I'll do the presentation first and we'll do the Q&A at the end. And we will start with Ethereum. So, what's happening for the price of Ether? So, it's going up finally. So, it's mainly due to the news about PayPal, and we'll talk more about it later. There is also a deposit staking contract of Ether that was supposed to be launched next week, and that was delayed. So the impact of this is negative. We'll talk more about it later. Then in terms of gas fee, so finally this is below 50 Gwei. Well, it's been a really long time since gas fee are this low. Actually, I was able to lend some tokens on Compound for $2 or $3 in transaction fee. So that's super affordable. This summer, I remember it was closer to like 20 or 30 bucks if you wanted to do the same operation. So finally, Ethereum start to be usable again, even if you are not well. So yeah, it's pretty good for people who are not well like us. Okay, so we're gonna talk of Ethereum 2.0. So, Ethereum 2.0, the next version of Ethereum, is supposed to be much more scalable, and this will be rolled out in different steps. So, recently, we had some really good progress from Ethereum 2.0. There were a couple of testnet like Spadina and a couple of other. And there was supposed to be another step very soon, but unfortunately didn't happen. So let me explain. So in Ethereum 2.0, we're going to have several separate chains. The main chain is going to be called the beacon chain, and attached to it are many other chains that we call shard chains. In the phase 0 of Ethereum 2.0, the beacon chain was supposed to start this month with the deposit contract. The deposit contract is a staking contract that allows you to stake your Ether to be a validator. Validator basically are equivalent of miners in Ethereum 2.0. So when you stake your Ether to become a validator in Ethereum 2.0, you get paid for staking your Ether. So that's similar to getting some interest with your bank account, for example. So this beacon chain with this deposit contract were supposed to be launched this week, but at the last moment it was delayed to November. So it's a slight disappointment, but this is just a 1 month delay. I think we shouldn't worry too much. Let's keep in mind that what they're doing with Ethereum is actually quite complex, because this is kind of like a research project, but with the constraint of something that is already in production. So core blockchain developer of Ethereum, they always have to manage these two things. So what they're doing is really complex, and yeah, I think so far they've done a pretty good job. So I think we're almost there. It will probably take place in November. Things are moving forward, so yeah, I'm not worried at all. Okay, so all in all, I would say still very positive news for DeFi. So next, we're gonna talk of the market cap of DeFi. So there was a slight decrease this week. That's because of the hack of a DeFi project, and we will talk about it later. Before the hack, we actually had a slight increase. So we didn't have a net increase in numbers of ethers, but it was mostly due to the increase in the price of ethers. So on the token side, it's actually a mixed bag. So we have a lot of green, a lot of red. Yeah, so here you see a lot of green, ample false, couple of token link. That was nice progression, but also a lot of red. There is actually slightly more red. A lot of clone of DeFi that went down, like Pico, Cream, for example. So yeah, that's really a mixed bag, slightly negative. On the rate side, so we have 5.51% for DAI on DYDX, for USDC 6.5 on Aave, and for Tether 6.42 on Aave. So yeah, some nice rate here. So I've noticed that we rarely have the best rate on Compound, but instead we have them on Aave and DYDX, and I think the reason is because Compound is more well known, so there is less perceived risk and people are more willing to accept a lower rate on a crypto. So that's it for the market cap of DeFi and the price of tokens. So next, the big news of the week in DeFi is PayPal. So PayPal finally gets in the crypto industry. So this is really big news, and it will have a big impact on the blockchain industry. I will explain why exactly. So first of all, let's have a bit of context on PayPal. So PayPal is one of the biggest online payment processor. It's very used in e-commerce and also by a lot of individuals who want to exchange money. So with PayPal, users transfer real money from their bank or from their credit card to PayPal, and in exchange they get some virtual PayPal money. With this PayPal balance, users are able to make some online purchase. So PayPal is very dominant in their niche, and they are very significant in the Silicon Valley. Actually, not many people know that, but a lot of ex-PayPal employees and co-founders created many other successful startups after PayPal, and that's what we call the PayPal Mafia, and that includes Peter Thiel. So really, that's a company that has a lot of historical significance on top of being the leader of their market. So what is this new service of PayPal? This new service allows PayPal users to buy and sell cryptocurrencies from their PayPal accounts. So user will be able to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin using the PayPal balance. I'm a little bit surprised by the choice of crypto here because Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin are really kind of a dead coin. So behind the hood, PayPal is going to use Paxos, which is a centralized exchange. So like for centralized exchanges, users will not have the control of the private keys of the crypto. This was to be accepted with PayPal, which always has been a very centralized service. However, what is really surprising is that users will not be able to either withdraw the cryptocurrency to any other address or use the cryptocurrency to make any payment, any purchase. So that means users will only be able to buy cryptocurrencies for speculative purpose. So there are two important questions here. First, as a crypto investor, should you use PayPal to invest into cryptocurrencies? Clearly, no. It's a very inferior solution to absolutely all other options to buy crypto. So like for centralized exchanges, you have a KYC procedure and you also don't have control of your private key. But unlike centralized exchanges, you can only hodl your crypto. That really sucks. And cherry on top of the cake, you can get your account frozen super easy and lose access to your crypto. So for those who don't know, PayPal has a super bad reputation for arbitrarily closing or freezing the accounts of its users. You don't need to be a drug dealer for that. It happened even to normal people. And when that happened, their customer service really sucked. They barely answer you. It can take you months, if not years, to get back access to your money. And the reason why the service is so bad is because PayPal is not regulated like a bank. So technically, you don't own money with PayPal. So you don't have all the protection you have with the banks. The original idea of PayPal was to challenge banks and be better, but in the end, they're actually way worse than banks. Terrible fees, terrible customer service, and absolutely no customer protection. So I would say avoid PayPal like the plague. Don't touch it for real money or for crypto. So that was the answer of the first question. Should you use PayPal to buy cryptocurrency? Second question, which is extremely important for us. What is the consequence of this move from PayPal for the whole crypto industry? So this is super bullish because it's going to introduce the huge user base of PayPal to cryptocurrencies, and it's going to create a huge extra buying pressure. For the average Joe who uses PayPal and doesn't know crypto at all, he doesn't want to bother with centralized exchanges, even less with decentralized exchanges. But now this guy can buy some crypto super easily from his PayPal account. This being said, I expect that many average Joe also don't understand well the volatility of crypto, and they might complain to PayPal. So PayPal might have a huge backlash from its user down the road and maybe roll back its initial decision. Anyway, short to middle term, I would say this is very bullish. So it's pretty good. Next, I want to tell you about this new WordPress plugin called WordProof that allow you to timestamp your blog post on Ethereum. So first of all, what is WordPress? So WordPress is a CMS or content management system, or in other words, for the least technical of us, this is a software to create websites. So you can create many kind of websites, but it's mainly used for blogging. It's open source, it's written in PHP, it's available for anyone to use. So I've personally used WordPress in the past for different websites like blogging, e-commerce. It works well even though its technology is kind of outdated. So WordPress can be extended with plugins. That's what makes WordPress so powerful and successful. And WordProof is a plugin for WordPress. So one of the big problems when you run a blog is to fight plagiarism and prove that you were the first one to write some articles. So with this plugin, you can calculate a digital signature of your post, so that's we call a hash, and you can save this hash into the Ethereum blockchain. So this way, nobody can claim that they were the first one to have created the blog post first if you already saved the hash in the blockchain. So if you have a WordPress blog, you can try it. They got a grant of $1 million from the European Commission, so that's probably enough to last 1 or 2 years for the development. So that's a guarantee they're going to add feature for a couple of time. And I think that's a really nice example of how you can create a blockchain project that you can monetize by mixing blockchain and another technology that already has a big audience like WordPress. So it's really a great strategy, and you can probably try to reproduce this strategy by combining other platforms with blockchain. All right, next. So another big news this week is FinCEN. So that fined a Bitcoin mixer $60 million for violating the BSA, the Bank Secrecy Act. So that's a big law about bank in the US. So first of all, what is FinCEN? So FinCEN is the Financial Crime Enforcement Network. So it's part of the Department of Treasury in the US, and their role is to fight financial crime. So now, what is a Bitcoin mixer? A Bitcoin mixer, this is a service that allows you to anonymize your Bitcoin transactions. So if you use a mixer to do some Bitcoin transaction, it will be very difficult to analyze the Bitcoin blockchain and know with who you have transacted exactly. A Bitcoin mixer can be used for legitimate purpose, if you just care about privacy, but also for illegitimate purpose if you sell some illegal stuff. So FinCEN has accused this Bitcoin mixer to not have done the required KYC procedure. Of course, this is a service about privacy. Of course, they're not going to do KYC. So when something like this happens, us in the blockchain industry, we're always tempted to be against the government and side with the crypto project. But in this case, it seems like the guy who operated this service was quite shady. Apparently, he advertised his service on the dark web to criminals, openly discussing the fact that they could hide the illegal transaction on his service. So yeah, I don't really feel any pity for these guys. Yeah, guys like this don't really help our cause really. So yeah, he probably got what he deserved. Yeah, and it's also a reminder to some of you, if you ever want to do anything about privacy or like Mixer for your blockchain project, know that that kind of project is quite risky from a legal perspective. Then we're going to talk of a few new yield farming opportunities. So first, there is a new project called BarnBridge that was launched. So that's a new DeFi derivative protocol about risk management. So it enables users to reduce the risk of digital assets and digital asset yield sensitivity. So what does this mean in plain English? Basically, this is an insurance that you can buy to protect against the risk of an interest rate that fluctuates. So if you have a variable rate plus you buy an insurance on the BarnBridge, potentially you could have a fixed rate. For investor, the opportunity is that you can farm their bond tokens. They already received $200 million after the launch. And this is also a project that raised $1 million in VC funding in September. So I always care about VC funding because this is smart money and it's always a very bullish signal for a DeFi project. And a very similar yield farming opportunity is another protocol, yield protocol. So that's very similar to BarnBridge, that basically allow you to turn a variable rate into a fixed one. And so they also launched this week, and for them the yield farming opportunity is for the yield tokens. These two projects I just showed you, BarnBridge and Yen Protocol, they're probably among the most complex projects we have seen so far in DeFi. So if you invest in them, there is the risk that you don't understand how they work. And there is also a significant risk that there is a security vulnerability because they're more complex, so it's a little bit more difficult to audit. So be super careful with these projects. Then we have a news of a hack. So Harvest Finance allow you to farm the highest yield in DeFi. So it's a bit similar to Yearn Finance. And unfortunately, this week it was hacked of $25 million. And after that, there was a lot of money that was withdrawn from this protocol. So initially they had 1.1 billion. So that's really a protocol that mushroomed. They attracted a lot of liquidity, and a lot of this liquidity went away after the hack. So that kind of sucked. Okay, so next we're going to talk of the news for developers. So first, there is a new version of Solidity. So there is no new major feature. It's mostly bug fixes. So make sure to update your Solidity version for your new project. Next, Chainlink, so the Oracle project, launched on mainnet a way to generate randomness. So generating randomness in a secure way has always been a really big deal on the blockchain. This is super difficult. So finally, we have a safe way to do it by using the Chainlink oracles. That's super cool. The downside of their system is that it costs money to generate this randomness. And finally, last news for developers. So there is an integration of Tenderly and Hardhat. So Tenderly, this is a very good tool that allows you to debug mainnet transaction. So you can see the whole stack trace. If you have a failed transaction, you can see the series of function calls. This is very visual and very convenient to debug mainnet transaction. And Hardhat, so before that's a framework that was called Buidler. So Buidler, this is basically an alternative to Truffle. That's a framework to develop a Solidity smart contract that's a little bit more modular than Truffle, and that's becoming more and more popular. And so now there is an integration with Tenderly. So from your Hardhat project, you can debug transaction easily in Tenderly. So it's pretty nice. And so with this, that was the last news for the last piece of news for developers. So we'll start the Q&A section. I'll quickly repost a link to my two courses, and I'll go up in the chat and check out all the questions. So who do we have here? We have Transfer33. Hey, Chicago Brew. Say hi, I'm present. Fidel say, yeah, PayPal crypto doesn't sound fun. Not really. That's the least that we can say. Ryan Spencer say, PayPal still holding my fund after I sold a GPU. Yeah, that's been 5 months. Yeah, like they can hold your fund for 6 months, and after that, it can be reevaluated. So I mean, hopefully you can get your money back. But yeah, I mean, this is a terrible experience. Alexander says, hey Julian, can you please cover the Harvest Finance hack from 12 hours ago? Yeah, so I would need to study it first, so I can do it in this video. But yeah, maybe later this week. This is a good idea. Ashwin is saying where to learn the latest version of Solidity along with framework and everything. So the latest version, you can check my series on Solidity 0.5, and so you will learn really the main feature of Solidity. And after, I have 2 other videos on Solidity 0.6 and Solidity 0.7, so you can know what has changed from 0.5 to 0.6, 0.6 to 0.7. But the big change was between Solidity 0.4 and Solidity 0.5. With 0.6 and 0.7, we don't have as many changes. And on top of it, it's also very important that you know the previous version of Solidity, because when you're going to develop smart contract, you're not only going to code your own smart contract, but you're also going to interact with other smart contracts that are older, and you need to understand what's going on. So yeah, you need to know several versions of Solidity, not just the latest one. Aside from Solidity, what else should an Ethereum developer be skilled in? Okay, so you know what? I'm going to. Okay, so you can type in YouTube. So first of all, Solidity tutorial, eat the blocks. You will find my series. This is a playlist. Then you can type Solidity 0.6, eat the blocks, Solidity 0.7, eat the blocks. You'll find on my video. And for the skills, you can say blockchain required blockchain skills, eat the blocks, and you will find my video. But basically, that really depends what's your positioning. There are different ways to define yourself as a blockchain developer. You can be a full stack blockchain developer, so in this case you have to be able to do everything, or you can be just on the front end or just on the smart contract. So let's say that you want to be a full stack blockchain developer, so in that case you need to do the smart contract, of course, so Solidity, but you also need to do the front end. So you need to integrate the smart contract with the front end. So that means you need all the skills of web development like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, probably React. And on top of it, you also need to know the main JavaScript library for Ethereum like Web3, and optionally also Ethers. And if you really want to push it, you also need to know a bit of TypeScript. That's becoming more and more popular for front-end developer. Chicago Brew saying, what are your top favorite ways to earn, gain, or acquire free token digital asset BTC? Free token, you mean like an airdrop or something like this? I haven't thought. I mean, I don't really focus on airdrop, but maybe there is like a sort of aggregator for airdrop. A sort of Yearn Finance for airdrop, but I'm not aware of it, really. But I mean, it's better to, I would say it's better to be really knowledgeable in a few projects, and sometimes you study new one, but you got to be careful with studying about new project all the time, because if you're too scattered, you can never have enough knowledge about anything to really make it useful. So you need at least to spend some time to know very well the main project, like Uniswap, Compound. What else do you have? Yeah, Uniswap, Compound, they are really the main one. And after that, you have a lot of, Maker DAO. And you have a lot of other projects that are sort of a variation of that. So if you master the fundamental concept in these couple of DeFi projects, then understanding all the rest will be much easier. And actually on my channel, I have a ton of video about Uniswap. So you should start with this. Wackbot saying bonjour ici. Hey, bonjour Wackbot. Alexander say, awesome, love your channel. Keep making this awesome content. Yeah, thank you. Perry saying, someone with some programming knowledge, what is a good estimate to go through your course and be confident in skills? So I'm guessing you're talking of a six-figure blockchain developer. So yeah, I mean, depending, if you already know a bit of programming, you can probably do it in a couple of weeks. But otherwise, if you're brand new, it's going to take you a couple of months to find a blockchain job. It's also going to take you a couple of jobs. So I would say if you start my course now, realistically, you could find your first blockchain job between, I would say, 3 to 6 months. Yeah, I think this is a realistic target. Chicago Brews saying things that get you free token, whether it be earnings, staking, faucet, airdrop, anything. Yeah, I don't really have a sort of system for this. I just try to follow the news about the new things, but I mean, I'm not too I really focus on building things, like building my tutorials, try to understand what are the problem that are being solved in the blockchain, and how to bring a better solution. I try to put myself on the builder side instead of the like get rich quick side, because I think in the long term it really pays off. So it's okay like to have fun sometimes, to do your little staking, your little airdrop, get your free stuff, but it's in the long term, I really recommend to be on the builder side. Charles Funios saying how to be in the blockchain space without being a dev. Yeah, it's a good question. So first of all, there is a sort of position that not many people know. It's a little bit technical, but not too much. It's called how do we call this? It's called an developer advocate. So basically, what you do is your job is to create a community of developers that are excited about your project. So typically, if you build an API, for example, you need a developer advocate, and the developer advocate will write some blog posts, will go to some conference, maybe we'll create some tutorial, but it will not be someone who actually writes a lot of code. So you need a little bit of coding skill, but really not too much. And you can be really well paid, and it gets you a huge exposure. You get to meet a lot of people. So for your career, it's like hugely beneficial. And yeah, you don't have this huge requirement technically, and really not many people know about this. So it's kind of a combination of a little bit of technical skills, but not too much, and also other skills like relationship skills, like more like soft skills. Actually, one of the alumni of my course worked as a developer advocate at a famous at Aragon, a big blockchain company. So it really is something totally possible. Okay, so let me scroll up in the chat. Pi, I'm saying thanks for the great content. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Perry saying I did JavaScript and Solidity threw me off. The syntax of Solidity threw me off. I was told they are very similar, and in some way they are. Yeah, I mean the syntax is similar, but actually the way they work is very different. Solidity can be quite tricky for beginner, especially if you haven't done much other programming before, because this is very unique. But you you have to know that actually Solidity is actually a much smaller language than JavaScript. So you have less stuff to know in Solidity. Then Ashwin is saying, as a portfolio project, how good is a multiplayer tic-tac-toe game? I would say not so great. Yeah, this is okay-ish, but nothing too awesome. So it really depends what's your goal. There are different applications for blockchain. So the biggest application is, of course, DeFi. Another big application is game. So if you want to be a blockchain developer and work in the game industry, then yeah, you should fill your portfolio with a game, but maybe something a little bit more similar, a little bit more advanced than a tic-tac-toe. But if you want to be in the DeFi industry, then focus on DeFi. By the way, DeFi pays way better than the gaming industry. The gaming industry typically doesn't pay well because everybody wants to create game. Like game are fun, and so this isn't really a problem to find a lot of developers who want to do this. So if you want to be in the gaming industry, that's fine, but you gotta be aware of this problem, really. So then Argo Bin Gupta saying, I'm an intermediate Solidity developer, but really struggling with DeFi contract. Can you help me with how to go with advanced Solidity and DeFi protocol in particular? Well, you are in luck because I'm working on 2 courses that cover exactly these 2 topics. So my next course is going to be on DeFi programming. So we're going to go over the main building blocks in DeFi. We're going to go over how to integrate with the main DeFi protocol. And after, we're going to build one or several full DeFi project where we're going to combine everything, all the concepts we've learned. So this probably going to come out in 1 month. As for my other course on advanced Solidity, this is going to be a little bit later, maybe in 2-3 months. Nico saying, excellent video. Yeah, thank you, Nico. Richard saying, I'm just curious, why not have a payment plan where we can pay after we land a job? Just a suggestion. Yeah, I mean, that's something that is done by what's this name? There is a bootcamp in the US that did this. A famous bootcamp. It's totally free. Oh, what's the name of this bootcamp? I'm sure some of you know it. It's basically totally free, and after they take like 20% of your income for the next year. But actually, there was a huge backlash against this because their contract, there was something in that contract that made it really unfair. And yeah, they got a lot of shit recently. They were really successful for a time, and in 2020, it really went to shit. So yeah, I mean, this is really not my business model. This requires a whole different organization. This probably requires some VC funding. This requires to do a very tough selection of candidates. If I were to do, like you say, I would be extremely strict on who I accept in the program or not. I'll probably need some lawyer to create this contract. I mean, that seems like super complex. So yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Ryan saying, what's your favorite DeFi service? Why? So a couple of weeks ago, I did this video about this DeFi project. What was the name of that already? It's not Tenderly. It's another one. Okay. Let's check out on my channel. So video. Where was the project already? Alchemy, yeah. So Alchemy, this is a sort of supercharged infra. So this is a tool for blockchain developer. This is used by the main DeFi project. I really like this tool, but I'm not sure you were actually asking me this. I think you were asking DeFi service. Oh yeah, I think I answered you this because you asked me about a service. Yeah, so my favorite service for developer is Alchemy API that I really like. Perry is saying, is it advisable to do the Crypto Zombies program before your program? I think Crypto Zombies is a bit outdated. The thing I don't like with Crypto Zombies is it puts you in this virtual environment that is quite remote from the actual tool you're going to use. So some people struggle to go from crypto zombie to actual blockchain project. So no, I mean I recommend really to start with my tutorial on Solidity. This is a playlist of I think about 30 video, and people absolutely love it. This is really bite-sized video that cover very specific topics. So if you're in a rush, you don't need to commit for like a very long 2-hour video, just like 5-10 minutes, and you do like one every day for 30 days, and at the end you'll be much more comfortable in Solidity. Okay. So going down in the message, Ashwin saying, I guess Crypto Zombies is outdated. Yes, that's true. Chicago say you surely enjoy the Uniswap airdrop. No, actually, no. Actually, I did that. I didn't use a Uniswap on mainnet, so yeah, I didn't enjoy the Uniswap airdrop, unfortunately. Oh yeah, I know that some people got multiple airdrop because of multiple wallets. Yeah, that's actually a big problem in crypto. Is whenever you want to deal with identity in crypto, it's actually quite complicated because people can create as many addresses as they want. So that's really a big problem in crypto. We haven't really solved that yet. Circle of Blessings, and how can I learn about liquidity mining? Well, that's going to be covered in my upcoming course on DeFi programming. Richard saying, however, you're doing an awesome job trying to educate and teach people. Cheers, man. Yeah, thanks, Richard. I really appreciate. Yeah, like whenever you guys wanna thank me, wanna say something nice, don't hesitate. I mean, I really love it. I work super hard for that, and when I see that it has some positive impact for people, I mean, that's really something encouraging. Perry saying, can I do blockchain development entirely remote? I'm not a people person. Yeah, no problem. So with COVID, all the industry are moving to remote. Then in the world of development, programming, traditionally programming was more open to remote than other industry, and within programming, the world of blockchain development was even more open to remote because it's a very new industry where we don't really have a lot of experienced people, and it's extremely hard to hire good blockchain developers. So when you have a company that is in a certain city, if they restrict themselves within a certain geographic location, it's almost impossible they're going to find the person they want. So because of this, you have a lot of blockchain companies that are remote. So this being said, you have two different kind of remote company, I would say. You have remote companies that are fully globally distributed, so they are on every continent. So this is the best kind of company to work for because there is no time zone, which is really privileged. Everybody needs to adapt to the time zone of other. It can be a little bit messy also to get used to it, but at least you will not be penalized because you live in Russia or you live like somewhere far away, not in the same time zone. That's fine. The other kind of remote company is when they are remote, but they are in the same time zone. For example, I know that I think Open Zeppelin, so they have people in Argentina and they have people on the East Coast in the US or on the West Coast. So they are not at the same location, but kind of same time zone. And I was in discussion to work with them maybe like a year ago, and the fact that I was in a totally different time zone here in Asia, it's actually kind of turned them off. So yeah, so you have to know this. It's up to you to ask questions, understand like how the team is distributed. But yeah, you have a lot of chance to do blockchain, to do remote job, to work remotely in blockchain. Research box, and what's the best way to contact you? You can send me an email. I'm gonna type my email in the chat. So it's Julian at itstheblogs.com. Yeah, just posted this. Then what's the next question? Charles Funio saying, any good guide to do flash loan without writing code? So I have a video on to do a flash loan with no code by using a tool that is called Combo. So you can search this on YouTube, Fero Combo, Flash Loan, Hit the Blocks, you will find my video. So this is good for playing around, for learning how a flash loan works, but realistically, if you really want to make money with a flash loan, you need to have a script that run an arbitrage script all the time and do your flash loan programmatically. Otherwise, you can't visually do a profitable flash loan. That's almost impossible. So I have a course on flash loan. I also have a free training. So yeah, I put the link to my course up in the chat. You can see it. Chicago Bruce saying, for the record, I'm no fan of Uniswap, slippage, counterfeit tokens, allowing fraudulent project to use this website, low standards and morality. Yeah, so it's kind of the downside of being open. So with the smart contract of Uniswap, there is no system of approval. Anybody can create a new market, and also anybody can create an ERC20 token with a fake name. So anybody can create a fake DAI, for example, and then you create this fake market on Uniswap, and then you start to do some you start to create some bullshit Telegram group, and unfortunately, yeah, that's how some people get scammed. So yeah, that's just how it works. Uniswap is totally decentralized. There is no system of approval, but to solve this problem, they roll out this new feature of token curation. So now there are a list of tokens that you can choose in Uniswap, and this list of tokens are curated by the community, so that can help to reduce the risk of bullshit, basically. Uniswap is going to have big legal issues sooner than later. Yeah, I mean, this has been discussed after the big crypto law case that we saw recently. So recently, the US started to be more threatening to crypto project, but they did it for crypto project that seems to be not very legit. Like, it's always people who did some really bad stuff, like for a drug or like criminal on the dark web. So for now, we don't have to worry, but it's not impossible that this is just the first step, and in the future they're gonna come after some DeFi project. This is possible. This being said, I'm not sure this will mean the end of DeFi. If that happens, it just means that running a DeFi project from the US is more risky, but it's not going to stop DeFi in the blockchain. It's just going to move DeFi development outside of the US. That's it. Devin saying, have we covered the harvest yet? No, but you're the second person who asked me about it. So yeah, maybe I should do it in another video. Sean Fox saying, should I try to learn different blockchain or just stick to one and hope it survives? No, just learn Ethereum. Right now, Ethereum is the one with the most momentum, really, so you don't need to waste too much time for other blockchain. Also, you have a lot of other blockchain that are basically copy-paste of Ethereum. They reuse all the same technology, the Ethereum virtual machine, the Solidity programming language, Truffle, Web3. It's just that sometimes they just rename some libraries, so maybe they don't call it Web3, but they call it something else, but it's basically the same tech. Tron is a copy-paste. Binance Smart Chain is a copy-paste. So really, don't get fooled by all the blockchain that tell you they are awesome. Just stick to Ethereum. Yeah, Devin. Yeah, just kind of continue what I say. So once you learn Solidity, you can apply to Tron or Binance Smart Chain. He meant to say any place to learn Solidity by working on real project. So on my channel, if you search, I have a lot of tutorial where we build a full project. But if you want to build a full portfolio of projects, check out my course, Six-Figure Blockchain Developer. You'll find the link in the chat or in the description of the video. What do you think about Binance? Jirayu is asking me, what do you think about Binance Smart Chain? Yeah, I think this is interesting. We start to see a lot of movement there. I'm thinking of covering this very soon in my channel. We start to see some DeFi project on the Binance Smart Chain, like a Pancake Finance, for example. Yeah, so I I expect that short term we'll see a lot of liquidity moving there, but long term I'm not sure because I don't really see what kind of innovation they bring except lower gas fee. But we all know that lower gas fee on Ethereum, this is just a temporary problem. So yeah, I think in the future, so we're going to see some liquidity going from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain and maybe in a few months back to Ethereum. Perry said, I like this live stream, otherwise programming feels kind of lonely. Yeah, man, yeah, yeah. Actually, myself, I prefer to do this live stream than doing the pre-recorded video. Maybe in the future, I will do more of this. I'm thinking maybe I could experiment with Twitch also. Yeah, I much prefer to do live stream. Like editing video is just it's super annoying. Perry saying, Julian, do you think Polkadot programming will be a course soon? It's not my priority. I'm like super focused on Ethereum, and I still have a lot to do with the course on DeFi, the course on advanced Solidity. So Polkadot, I'm not sure, but I might start to hire or partner with other teachers to do some extra courses on my platforms, and when this happens, I'll be able to cover other blockchain. But this is secondary. I won't do it right away. Sean saying, does Komodo use Solidity? I got a chance to work there. Okay, I don't know much about Komodo, but if this is a project on Ethereum, they probably use Solidity. Etienne saying, can you speak French? Yes, I am French. Actually, I might do a new channel, the same channel that Eat the Blocks, but in French. I might do this because like more and more French people ask me this. So yeah, we'll see. Agobin saying, hey, can you help me with good publication in DeFi for now? Waiting for the course. How to reach you? Yeah, I put my email before, julian@eattheblocks.com. I do have a few clients who are looking for senior developer. You can shoot me an email. Yeah, Julian with the E at eattheblocks.com. See, Mab saying, can you please tell me how I can collect social media data of any token from Etherscan website? So you mean a scraping? You want to scrape Etherscan? I mean, yeah. I mean, this is not really blockchain. Like it seems what you want to do is a scraping. So there is a library. If you want to do this in Node.js, there is a library called Cheerios. But you got to be careful with the scraping because oftentimes it violates the term of use of different websites. So either you try to use an API. It's better if you can use the API and they provide the info you want. But if you have to scrape a website, you got to be careful with the term of use. Some people use a system of proxy to change the IP all the time because they get banned. So yeah, you got to be careful with that. First, if I were you, I would search. Can you find an API for what you want to find? I'm sure there is an API for the metadata of ERC721 token. I'm sure about this. Neno Almeida is saying, what kind of project do you think is interesting to build to show a kind of DeFi expertise to be hired? So okay, well, you know what, on my channel, this is another video I've made. Let me see, blockchain portfolio. So I have 5 project ideas for an awesome blockchain portfolio. So you can check out this video. Also, you can check out my playlist. So I have DeFi app tutorial. I have quite a few tutorials for building DeFi applications, so you can check this out. And of course, like for me, the ultimate project you can do is a decentralized exchange, and that's what we do in my course, 6-Figure Blockchain Developer. Okay. Charles Fournier is saying, merci Julien, but how to escape or avoid the bots in the order book of and front run my flash loan? Well, one solution you can have is to put a require statement where basically in your function where you execute your flash loan, you require that the sending address is your address. So in this case, when the front runner, when they're going to try to, they're going to simulate your transaction. but they're going to replace your address with their address and see if that makes money. But because you have the required statement, when they do the simulation, it's going to fail. So they see, oh, okay, failed transaction. Okay, I'm not going to front run this one. It doesn't work. Yeah, so that would be one way. Then Mega Montana saying, I'm in the New York City area. Do you still do private coaching call? I'm out of your time frame. Yeah, it's possible. I already did coaching with people far away. So in this case, like basically we have 12 hours difference. So for example, we can do it in the morning for you. It's going to be in the afternoon for me, or the other way around. Yeah, this is workable. Josh Jackson, you should definitely do a video with Ether.js. So in my recent tutorial on a DeFi app, I did use Ethers, but yeah, I should probably do a separate video just on Ether.js. You're right. Is it saying what's a good way to prevent fund running? Yeah, like I said before, you can rewind the stream. I was talking a couple of minutes before of a system with a required statement. Richard saying, I've learned a great deal just by watching YouTube video, and once it clicked, now the ideas that I get are only with the blockchain philosophy. I'm gonna enroll to your program ASAP. Wow, this is amazing. Yeah, great, Richard. I'm really glad it was helpful, and yeah, like welcome to my course. CMAB is saying, yes, I want to collect it from API from Etherscans. Yeah, like check their doc. I don't know by heart if they have exactly what you want, but probably. And if they don't have it, check out other API. Crypto Shisha saying, why don't you use Angular for the front end? Oh, please, don't mention Angular. So Angular, what's the issue with Angular? So Angular, this is a framework that was created by Java developer, by people who are really who have a heavy corporate culture, and that really shows in their code that everything they do is just like super complicated, and it's to make like huge corporate complex project, and it doesn't really resonate well with me. Also on the job market, the main skill you need is React. So I'm a very practical guy. So I like simplicity, and I'm a very practical guy. If React is the most demanded skill on the market, just use React. This being said, if you have the specific goal of working for really big corporate company that use blockchain, in that case, that would be the only case why I would recommend Angular. Jetstar is saying how to test Uniswap analysis on local. Okay, so this is a very good question. Typically, this is quite difficult to test DeFi project locally because you have to interact with a lot of other contracts. So there is a solution so a couple of solutions would be to test on a public testnet where you have some deployment of DeFi project like Kovan, etc. But the problem on public testnet is that you don't always have all the contract you want. So maybe you have like Uniswap on Kovan, but you have like, I don't know, MakerDAO on a Ropsten, but not on both. So you're kind of stuck here. Also, sometimes you don't have the liquidity you want. So there is another solution where you can fork mainnet. Actually, I have a video on my channel about this. You can search Ganache CLI mainnet fork. And by doing this, you can basically test on mainnet, but not by spending real Ether. It's just with a local fork on mainnet. So you have all the state of mainnet. On the paper, this is the best way to test a DeFi project, but the problem is that it's actually very flaky. I've tried to do it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is super frustrating. It also requires a connection to Infura, so super annoying. So I've been mentioning this recently. I'm thinking of launching a project to help you guys with this. I want to create a local development environment where we have deployed the main DeFi project. So we deploy Uniswap, we deploy Compound, the main DeFi project, and we create some liquidity for the different markets. And so we can do our test with Ganache, and it works. So the difficulty with this project was that I would have to learn how to deploy each DeFi project. and each DeFi project has a very special way of deploying their contract. So I probably start this project, but I probably need some help. Like maybe I take care of a few DeFi protocol and some contributor that take care of other DeFi protocol. So yeah, that's a solution I've been thinking about. Tian, I just started the blockchain course, 6-figure, how to update. Up to date is the 30 project course. Is it Solidity 5 or 6? This is Solidity. So that 30 is Solidity 5, and 6-figure blockchain developer is Solidity 6. Yeah, so you have the most up to date course. Don't worry. But in any case, you know, there isn't too much difference between Solidity 0.5 and 6 and 6 and 7. So yeah, in any case, you're not wasting your time. And on my channel, I have 2 videos where I explain the difference between 5 and 6 and 6 and 7. So you're all good, Tian. Simab Sheng, I've seen some of your video in channel. I love to learn coding, but don't know how to code. Can I get your courses? And this is also for new people. Will I be able to code after your course? Yes. So basically, on my course, 6-figure blockchain developer, I have an add-on for people who are new to coding. So this is a jump starter package, and with this package we start from zero. We start from web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. So this is like a very accelerated training. We get you up to speed, and after you can start the blockchain course. So yes, you can start absolutely, and you have the support of me and of other students on the channel. So we have a private Discord. This is quite active. You have support quite quickly, really. Chalfunio saying, I would like to know how they calculate the API on Aave or Comp. Is there a formula for that? Yeah, this is a very interesting question. So basically, what they do, so the API, this is composed of two. There are really two part of that. One part is the reward token. So on Compound, this is the comp token. On Aave, what's that? I don't remember the name of that token, but basically they calculate for each block how many for your address, how many reward token you get. They convert this in the unit of the original token, and so you get an API for the reward. And oh yeah, so also I forgot to mention so you have a yield for each block, but then you need to add the yield for all the blocks. So maybe, I think in a year you have something like a 2 million block. So you add the yield for all the block, and then you have like a yearly yield. So that's what you want. And on top of it, you also have to assume that the rate you get to lend token is going to stay the same. So for example, if you lend your token at like, I don't know, 3% for the current block, so you're going to assume that you're going to keep lending your token with the same rate for each block. And you add these two rates, the rate for the lending, the rate for the reward token, and at the end you get the API. Eugene is asking, is it possible to build a smart contract that uses a second level cache to reduce gas cost? I'm not sure you're gonna win a lot, because basically if you save on gas costs to read other smart contract, you're gonna pay more by storing the data in the smart contract. So it's really not obvious that you're actually going to save some gas. I haven't. Storing data is quite expensive. Yes, I'm really not convinced it will work, but you can try. Charles Finas is asking, I mean, how they decide that each coin will have that much API every day? They don't decide everything. This is just the market. So okay, what they decide is how many reward token will be given to such or such per block. They say, okay, well, total we're gonna have 1 million reward token, and each block we're gonna give 1,000. And after they're going to share this 1,000 reward token across all the liquidity provider. That's the only thing that the community decide. But after, there is a market for this reward token, and it's up to the market to decide what's the price of the reward token. So if the reward token has a high price, then the API is going to go up. If it has a low price, the API is going to go down. So everything is decided by the market, really. Jinchada saying, yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah, thanks, man. Devin S saying, Julian, you're awesome. I owe you a lot. Your video have helped me get Solidity and create some really cool project. Yeah, I'm glad about this, Devin. Yeah, that's the goal. Tian saying, thanks. Okay, yeah, hope I answered your question, Tian. Mega Montana saying, can you do a video where you update an old contract? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to think about this. Yeah, really, maybe starting from a Solidity 0.4 and like updating to Solidity 0.7, for example. Yeah. I guess it's saying, if the tooling script can be standardized, Truffle gonna CLI person JavaScript, we can probably scaffold local DeFi environment by using simple script. Yeah, so I mean, basically, originally Truffle was a couple of script in Python, and after they made it into something nicer. So yeah, Truffle is basically already these couple of scripts that you're talking about that allow you to streamline everything. Jack Cervantes saying, love your video, mate. I've just coded the whole backend and frontend for my own sushi swap fork. Wow, this is amazing, Jax. Yeah, wish you success for your project and make a lot of money like Chef Nomi. I can say PS, I like Vue better than React. Yeah, I mean, this is a matter of taste. Like, Vue is really popular in China because the creator is Chinese. Outside of China, this is getting more and more popular, but on the job market, this is still very, very inferior to React. So that's a big issue. But for personal project, what's great with Vue is everything is way more integrated. So with React, you have to choose which routing library you want. You have to choose, you have to decide a lot of things and really do a lot of plumbing. Whereas with Vue, everything is integrated already. So yeah, that's really a big plus for Vue, I have to say. Andy saying, when migrating to Ethereum 2.0, will the Solidity programming change? Probably not. So we might have a new opcodes. The opcodes, they are the elementary operation of the Ethereum virtual machine. So maybe we'll have a new opcode, and when you have new opcode, then Solidity needs to give you access to this. So we might have some new stuff, but the whole point of this migration is to keep everything backward compatible. It's not going to work if we're going to break half the blockchain. So don't worry too much about Ethereum 2.0. Everything you learn now is still going to be reusable, like 99% for Ethereum 2.0. That's for sure. CMAP saying, very nice. So can you take new one from zero and so on? And how can I enroll in your course? How can I know, do I get started? Yeah, so, okay, so if you want to enroll, so if you're a total newbie, no programming background, you take the Jump Starter package. Otherwise, if you already know programming, you can take the other package. Yeah, you join the course, then you get access to a private Discord, so you start learning web development with the course. And when you're done with this part, then you start to learn blockchain. And at any time, you just ask me or others in the private Discord if you need some help, if you're stuck, and we're gonna help you. Okay, like David saying, can you do a video on how to audit smart contract? Yeah, this is a good idea. I need to think about that one. Yeah, really good idea. And I'm the same way, David S. And I can't compete with Rapid Developer these days. That's fine. I mean, use whatever you can. Like you don't have to code. You don't have to code a lot. You have to code well and regularly. Like, it's not a matter of quantity of code. It's more a matter of quality. Actually, talking about this, so actually, if one thing that very few people know is that if you do Solidity, you decide to focus on Solidity, the quantity of code in a Solidity smart contract is much smaller than what you would do in the front end. If you do JavaScript, React, etc., it's much smaller. So if you're a slow developer, it can be quite interesting to look into Solidity. Solidity is really, you spend a lot of time thinking. You think about the different security vulnerability, how to save gas, etc., but you don't necessarily code a lot. And that's why I love about Solidity is much more efficient. Whereas when you do front end, you have to do all this HTML, all this CSS. You have your boss who show you like a mock-up, say, oh, you have to do exactly like the mock-up. Oh, like this pixel is not aligned, and you're going like to tear your hair because this is not exactly like on the visual, not the right color, not the right alignment, like, and you have to code so much. This will not happen with Solidity and smart contract. So if you guys are considering how you should specialize, I strongly recommend to specialize in Solidity. That's, you write less code and it pays more, it's easier to stand out, everything is better. And then CMAP, I think you've asked 2 times the same question. Yeah, I think you saw my link. Okay, yeah, I mean, cool. I hope I'm gonna see you soon. Should Frederic say, hey, this is an alumni from my school. We went to the same engineering school. Hey, hi Fred. Say thanks, Julian. Congrats for the audience. Will you please have some more focus on CA? I don't know this acronym. Can you tell me what it means? Identity Onboarding Challenge. Okay, so yeah, I could think about this. So which project tackle this problem? So we have this problem that do a social. What's this? I have it on the tip of my tongue. They do they do like social. Okay, let me see that social blockchain project. It's something with Web3, but it's not Web3. Oh damn. Okay, I will find it, but I have it on the tip of my tongue. There is a project that do exactly what you're saying. Yeah, well, okay, I have a blank now. Sean Fox saying, totally, that's what I'm excited about. Cool. Eugene saying, do you prefer Remix or Visual Studio to code your smart contract? So I personally, actually, I use Vim. So Vim is kind of a very geeky editor for code because basically I like to save my finger with Vim. You don't have to use your mouse at all. You just use a shortcut, and that's very good to avoid some pain on your wrist and on your finger. But I know that a lot of people like Visual Studio Code because you have a lot of syntax highlighting, and this is quite nice to work with. Remix, the problem with Remix, okay, Remix, this is a nice playground if you want to like learn Solidity or try new feature, but you don't really do real blockchain project in Remix because Remix doesn't have access to your local NPM package. So for example, if you want to install OpenZeppelin, you're going to use the NPM, you're going to use NPMs, you're going to do like NPM install OpenZeppelin, but the import path in Remix is going to be different from the import path if you use Visual Studio Code, and it's going to be all messed up. So yeah, like, to play around, use Remix. To do some real coding, use a real code editor like Visual Studio Code. Certificate authority. Okay, should have Frederic. Yeah, so okay, I see. So yeah, I mean, I could do a tutorial to see like how to do identity stuff on the blockchain. Clearly, that's one of the hard problem in blockchain. This is also very interesting. Chen is saying Civic. Yeah, I think Civic do this. I have to look into it. Sean Fox saying okay, something. Richard saying non-blockchain question. How many hours of sleep do you even get? Yeah, I mean, working on Eat the Blocks, yeah, this is intense because I have to prepare the video and then I have to prepare the courses, and then this is not finished because I receive a lot of emails every day. I have people who want to work with me, for freelance project. I have the questions of my students. So yeah, I'm really thinking of how to scale myself. Because, I mean, Eat the Blocks is getting more and more successful. I can't complain about it. This is really awesome. But I think next I need to get some help. So maybe at some point I will start to hire some assistant, at least to start with. Maybe after at some point a full-time employee. I also plan to have other teachers who create courses on my platform. I need to think about these things, and I'm probably going to make some announcement very soon about this. Then are you Akazit is saying, are you talking about Steemit? Steemit. Okay, so yeah, so Steemit, that was this for those who don't know, that was this blogging platform based on the blockchain created by Dan Larimer, who is also the creator of EOS. That was really popular in 2017, 2018, and the idea of Steemit was to reward content creator not with advertisement, but with tokens based on the view time of the article. And so in a way, that was like very similar to Brave browser, but for blogging. Basically, it's like a Medium. It's like the Brave, the idea of Brave, but applied to Medium. That got really popular. I know that some people who got on Steemit really early, they made a shit ton of money. Like I know like some guys, they made like $10,000 just for writing a couple of articles. But you know, that was like a lot of other blockchain projects. It was crazy at the beginning, and after the price of the Steemit token went to shit, and now I think this is really a ghost town. Not many people use it. In general, I'm really not very bullish for any project which is kind of a sort of social media based on blockchain, because the problem with social media is that this is very much, there is something called the network effect. Like once your network is big enough, this is almost impossible for competitors to appear. This is really too late. So I really don't think this is the first use case for blockchain. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too bullish about Steemit for the future. But I mean, that was a nice try, really. Jade Salah is saying, what do you think about Viper, and good or not to switch from Solidity to Viper? No. So okay, you can you can check Viper on my channel. I have a tutorial about Viper, but the future of Viper, I'm not super confident. So first of all, there was Uniswap, which used to have his smart contract in Viper. So Uniswap v1 that was written in Viper, and that was rewritten in Solidity for Uniswap v2. So I mean, and that was one of the very few users of Viper, really. So that tells a lot. Second, we had news recently of a new programming language called FE, F-E, and apparently it's going to be based on Viper, or it's going to be the future of Viper. So I'm not really sure that Viper is going anywhere. I think this is good. That it'd be good if we had several language for smart contract, but yeah, at the moment I would say just stay focused on Solidity. That's what the job market wants, and really in 6 months, if you start to be bored, you can say, okay, well, I'm gonna check out Viper, but really you need Solidity to get on the job market. They've been saying testing on the mainnet is so expensive to go down the east fee. Yes, I mean the fee really went down a lot, so now we are like a 50 GUI, so it's like much more reasonable than a few weeks ago when it was like 200, 300. But as I said, you can try to test on forks of mainnet, but this is a bit flaky. Otherwise test on public testnet. Yeah, as you say, forking the mainnet never works as expected. Yeah, I really need to work on this project. I've been talking about I want to create this development environment locally on Ganache with all the DeFi project deployed like Uniswap, Compound, etc. I'm sure this is going to be super popular. David saying I need a fork of Cream on Ringby. Yeah, this is doable. I haven't had a look at Cream. I think this is a fork of Compound, if I believe, right? Leo saying, Julian, in your opinion, what is the best option for frictionless dApp without having to sign every transaction with MetaMask? Okay, good question. Without having to sign. Well, I mean, it depends. Leon, like if you want to read data, you don't need to sign anything. If you want to read data, there is no MetaMask. You just have a connection to Infura, and that's it. But as long as you want to write data, you need to identify the user. You need to make sure. You need two things. You need one to pay. You need to pay for your transaction, and second, you need to make sure that the sending address actually want to do this action, because otherwise anybody can impersonate you if we don't have any authentication mechanism. So this is not magical, you know. It's either you sign a transaction. Either you sign a message, you send the message to a backend, and the backend send the transaction and take care of the gas fee, or you send a transaction directly from the front end. But you really have these two solutions, but you don't have others right now. Really, okay, well, you have a third solution, but that's not really dApp. Like you could have everything happening in the backend. So let's say you have a web application, it's connected to an API, and you don't have MetaMask. You have a system of authentication like a normal web app, and on the backend, what it does is when you do an action, then it sends transaction on your behalf to the smart contract. It pays the transaction fee. It does everything. But in this case, this is not really a dApp, because the backend control your data on the smart contract. So it's like a sort of fake dApp. But if you want to get rid of MetaMask, that would work. Tian saying, has your YCOM project, my YCOM, which I applied this year and then afterwards found yours. What do you mean? Which my YCOM project? I don't have one. I work for a company in the YC, as a freelancer, but it wasn't my project. I haven't applied to YC. I'm not sure. Right now, if the blogs would be a good fit for any VC. You know, like VC in general, they want projects who have very high potential. The VC, what they do is they invest a small part of their portfolio in many different projects, like maybe hundreds, and they know that most of these projects are going to fail, and that one of them or few of them are going to succeed. But these few who succeed, they need to make it up for all the other projects that fail. So their strategy is to have crazy return. Most of the time it's failing, and sometimes very rarely it's crazy return. But project like mine, Eat the Blocks, it's going well, but it's never going to make like 15 or hundreds of millions or even more. So I'm not sure that VC would be interested in what I do now. But if I do another blockchain project, yeah, maybe. All right. Jed Salah saying, yeah, I'm so confused. Why Uniswap V1 use Viper and V2 using Solidity? I answer. Thanks, you answered my question. Okay, cool. Daniel saying, hey, can you make a tutorial how to create a subgraph for a contract that already exists? Yeah, so I have made a video before on the graph, but what you're asking is kind of like next level. It's a more advanced use case. Yeah, I could do it. Yeah, it's a good idea. Perry saying, Julian, any book you recommend? I want to absorb as much as I can. So a book I really enjoy was this book of Andreas Antonopoulos on Bitcoin, mastering Bitcoin. For me, that was really the beginning of my blockchain journey. I read this book, I think, in a couple of days, and I was so into it. And it's quite technical. It's well done, and with this fundamental knowledge, I was better able to understand the other blockchain project, because really everything is more or less based on Bitcoin. It's really Bitcoin who launched blockchain, and the best explanation of what is a blockchain, a technical explanation, I found it in Mastering Bitcoin. Yeah, so really good book. Tian saying, "Oh dang, I thought it was yours. I think it was called ZFi." Oh no, it's not my project ZFi. I was working as a freelancer. Less interesting now. Actually, I think what they're doing is interesting. They're doing something similar to Dharma. They're doing an auto saving wallet. So the idea is like you send money to this wallet and automatically it invests in Yearn Finance, for example, to automatically create some yield. So actually, I've done a tutorial like this on my channel if you guys are interested. Okay, well, I think, wow, tonight it was like way longer than usual, like almost 1 hour 30. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, guys, so I think we're going to wrap it up here. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming here tonight. A lot of people tonight, a lot of questions. I love it. And keep building, keep watching video on Eat the Blocks. And I'll see you guys soon on my channel. Peace out, guys. Cheers.